Super Bowl 60 is fast approaching, and you can bet on every moment of Super Bowl glory. Every trip to that end zone matters more than ever, as the Seahawks and the Patriots are going head-to-head. And DraftKings Sportsbook has all your favorite ways to bet touchdowns for Super Bowl 60. The next great Super Bowl touchdown is coming, and you can bet on every moment of glory. New customers, bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use the code Sonnen. DraftKings, the crown is yours. Stay in on the action and use your bonus bets on DraftKings same game parlays for a shot at an even bigger payout. Love the thrill of live betting? Bet live on star player props and in-progress games right as they happen. If sports betting is not yet available in your state, don't worry. You can still join in on all the fun with DraftKings Daily Fantasy Sports and have a shot to win cash prizes. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now. New customers, use my promo code Sonnen and bet just $5 on any wager and get $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. That's promo code Sonnen only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Sugar Sean O'Malley said that Paddy Pimblett has got to fight Dan Hooker next, that the UFC has got to make that fight. Said that they were both characters and both built very well, and that they've got a grudge that you got to book that fight. I see it the same way. Paddy had done an interview, and my sense from the statements of Paddy was, now that Hooker's gone, right? I had this beef with Hooker a week ago, but now that that's over, since he lost and all, and that was my sense. Those weren't Paddy's words, but that was the tone that I was getting, and I had a very different opinion, going, oh no, Paddy, you're coming off a loss. The fact that Hooker lost is what makes that fight possible. That's what makes him available as an opponent. And you can go in a few different directions with Paddy, but I don't think that they're likely. I don't think you're likely to get a call and Paddy's fighting the number 11 guy. And it's great, and Paddy will take it from here, and Paddy's a big star, and the fight's going to do just fine. Like, there's the truth to some of that, but he's coming out of a title fight. I don't think that Paddy's going to get, right? The way I see it, Paddy is associated with two guys right now. He's associated with Arman Tsarukyan, who's coming off nothing but wins in wrestling, jiu-jitsu, and MMA, if that matters to you. Or you have Hooker, who's coming off a loss, and Paddy's coming off a loss. Like, I see it Sean's way. I don't have a problem if they were to give him Tsarukyan. I could see where there would be a strategy to give Paddy a big star Tsarukyan, to get him right back into the hunt. But a lot of that's in your mind. Like, I do see fighters and I do see fans try to break it down, and they'll use a word that makes no sense. None. And the word that makes no sense, none, is the word sense. It's almost a tell. If you ever have a fighter or a manager tell you this is what makes sense, right there is your clue. I'm talking to an idiot. Nothing makes sense except winning fights. Beating Dan Hooker gets you just as close to a title fight as beating Arman Tsarukyan. And you can argue that and you can tell me I'm wrong. But you would have done that when Lopez fought John Silva. I could have come out and told you, if you want to get Lopez back into a title fight, get him in the ring in a feature match and get him a win. That wasn't even a pay-per-view, by the way. He got a win in a main event of a non-pay-per-view and got a title shot. Tell me somebody else that's done that. And you can. You can. It's happened before, Khalil Roundtree. But tell me somebody. You'd have a really hard time. So I'm just thinking about it. I really can't imagine that Paddy gets lined up with anybody that isn't Tsarukyan or Hooker. If I'm wrong, who would it be? Like, Paddy kind of had mentioned Benoît Saint Denis. Okay, I'd watch the fight, but we'd be starting at ground zero. There's no heat on that. There's no hype on that. There's not a lot of interest. It doesn't make sense considering Benoît Saint Denis is coming off a victory, not to mention Saint Denis did a number of call-outs. I mean, he threw out every name you could think of. He didn't throw out Paddy's. And it just doesn't seem like a promoter would start at ground zero. Promoter, if he had something, would start with something. And Paddy right now is associated, if I'm to be fair, he's associated with 3 names. He's very much associated with Ilia Topuria, but we understand that fight's not going to happen. He's very much associated with Tsarukyan. And Tsarukyan, to put Paddy with Tsarukyan, does that make a lot of sense in the fight world and for Paddy? Well, make sure that you understand it from a little bit of a different perspective, which is, let's matchmake Tsarukyan. He belongs in there with Ilia. If Ilia is not coming back, then he belongs in there with Gaethje. But it looks like Ilia is going to come back, which means Ilia is going to fight Gaethje. Now you've got an odd man out in Tsarukyan. What's the next best thing you can do? You could put him with the BMF champ. It's likely to be a non-BMF match, but you could put him with, if Max was to come out with Oliveira. But do you see how you're playing this game and it's jumping around and there's a lot of ifs? Or you could solve the problem by putting him with Paddy. If you play the game in reverse, you don't quite get to the same answer. Like, what should we do with Paddy? Let's put him with Tsarukyan. Okay, we could. But if you play in reverse, what should we do with Tsarukyan? You find yourself getting to Paddy pretty quick. That's still a stretch. O'Malley's hit this thing right on the head. The fight to make for Paddy is clearly Dan Hooker.